Hi guys, it's Easy here. So today I'm here with a upgraded Magnolia deck profile, and we can quickly just go through the right line right here, which is the same with the Magnolia right line. I have been playtesting this deck for like last weekend, and then of course spend another week to do some fuel crafting. And in this deck, I do have a few targets that I want to achieve. One is that I am trying to take away Inlet Pulse. It is a good card, but in this build, I actually prefer like using more Silverhorn based, trying to test about the new cards. So Inlet Pulse is still helping, but to me it's not good enough. It just is so in and draw one, which we have a lot of things to support a soul. We can get a draw, but we get a soul. So I don't see it more important than before, and because the main reason we're using Inner Pulse in before is we have the grade 4, but now we have choice restricts, which means we can only pick one of them. And also the other thing is I'm trying to get away from grade 4 Magnolia as well, um, so that I can use something that I used before that is also helpful during my grade 3 turn, so I'm not like just trying to do a little bit stuff and then go into grade 4 and start doing something that's one turn late. I try to avoid from doing that, and I actually get inspired by playing, like seeing people playing Bruce, that they're getting away from grade 4. So I think I might as well try that, right? So here we are. So in this video, you won't be seeing any impulse, you won't be seeing any grade 4 Magnolia, just to be clear. Right, so right line, I'm actually using the Magnolia right line first. Because I do like the random call, even if it's a trigger, it can be a PG, but still it's something that help you build up the board, and you don't need to worry about too much, because like there's a lot of Hilferg around, and if they pick like grade 0, they will help you send the trigger to the bottom of the deck, so that kind of helps, right? So you don't feel losing too much when using this right line, so that's why I'm going for it. And the older cards that I'm actually using is very less, so I'm not using the Soga right line, and I always can find my way to actually fill up the board, and I won't be able to eating up my own units, so I'm not using the Rotowa right line as well. Which I think my friend did tested like a Flagbird right line into it, but I don't actually see that helpful, because for um, the right line to actually work, you can only actually pull the grade 1 out to be useful, and then the grade 2 basically won't come out. Or even if you kind of have a way to make it out, it's still costing you too much, and I'd rather to do something else. So uh, that's basically all the right lines we have, and I still think this is the best one that uh, works for me. So I'm using these ones. Now, let's go over the main deck. So you won't see any grade 4, but you'll see, of course, playing a full set of Magnolia grade 3, because personal right is important in order for us to do 6 swings a turn. We kind of still be able to do that without personal right, but with personal right is helping you a lot more, right? And with us going back to grade 3 Magnolia, there's a lot of text that we can actually use. During your first Magnolia turn, you can do more than 4 attacks, right? So that's why I want to explore this build and trying to make something out of it. Also, the soul is quite important for you to use all your skills, which also come in with our next card, which is new support Silverhorn Beast Alpine. So Alpine is such a great card, not for only pumping the power, because this card, when attack the Vanguard, if you have a Magnolia Vanguard, for each 2 of your grade 2 or higher unit, counting Vanguard and Rearguard, and it didn't say others, so it should count itself as well. For the battle, it will get 5k. So you have 2 plus 5, if you have 4 plus 10, if you have 6 plus 15. And if this card power can get to plus 10k or more during the battle ends, you can actually bind this card to counter charge and soul charge. That is very, very helpful because we use a lot of resources to do a lot of attacks. That's one thing it helps you cover. And the second thing is, it's kind of a bad thing, but at the same time it's a good thing. It binds itself. Now the bad thing is you're actually losing this valuable attacker, right? But the good thing is you're emptying your circles, meaning you have less units on the board, and that will actually help you out when you're playing epics, which is basically the key when you're playing any types of Magnolia, right? It always get the plus 10k, but you only can get the protection that cannot be selected by opponents' effects, card effects, for the same column when you have 3 or less regards. And if you don't have anything that like inner pulse that go into soul and draw 1, what can you do? There's Alpine, right? And you don't need to have like a full board, you just need to have like 1 Magnolia Vanguard, 1 Alpine, 1 Apex with something else, and maybe another thing else. So 4 regards, 1 Vanguard, then you spring with your Alpine, it bounce, and because you assuming you have 2 grade 2 including the Apex and this, and also your Vanguard, so that's already 4, so you're already busting 10k, that's enough, right? And after that it bounce, then your column gets protection. So this is such a important card in this deck, Alpine. I have tested like 2 extremes. One match is that I have 3 of the Alpine goes to damage, and I lost the game. And the other match is I actually get 4 Alpine into my hand, and it just went so well, and I win the game. So maybe it's just me, but I think Alpine is actually a lot better than I first thought. First of all, I was thinking like, okay, is a good counter charger, is a good soul charger, and it pumps itself, so instead of like weak front row attack, we are having something stronger. But actually playing it, these 2 are more important than I thought. So I'm very happy to actually have this support, and it's definitely a 4 off. And then I'm running a 4 of the Panthera. So this is a support that mainly for grade 4 Magnolia, but it is also helping you when you facing some heavy retiring power and you kind of want to rebuild your board. This is the card to help you out, because as long as you have another copy in your drop zone, when this card appears on a regular circle, you can soul blast 1 and pull 1 of your copy from drop, right? So at least you have 2 cards that is ready to swing, and as long as you have Magnolia Vanguard, it will get plus 5k to become 14k, so at least hitting some baseline. And then it's just up to how you build up your field. Can you personal right or not? And from there you can turn it to some valuable resources. But if you are really like wanting to play grade 4 Magnolia, you can actually switch these 4 into grade 4 Magnolia. That wouldn't hurt you, but of course you're losing 5k defensive, so that's your choice. But so far I only usually play like 1 to 2 of this card on the board, while I have like all these stronger cards, and also because usually the one who is doing the retiring work is myself, because those are the decks that I play. My friends are usually playing decks that don't touch my board that much, so it isn't that helpful for my testing. But if you're facing like a Jiva deck that they're going to wipe up your whole board and you have nothing, you have a bunch of soul because of Alpine, what can you do? call one out, soul blast one, call another one out, soul blast one, call another one out, then you at least have 4 attacks without person riding. So that is just something that can help you out when you are in trouble. So that's why I'm still running 4 of these. I do see my friend using the grade 2 Panthera that actually soul blast 1 plus 10k and do some kind of guard restrictions, but there are like a lot of decks that can kind of go around it, so meaning the attack won't be that much of a threat, and when you get like board wipe, you're still facing some issue if you don't have ampics. So I'm trying to get the balance, and I'm using this card. And then 2 of the Dynamaru. So this is the back row attack enabler, but it has to be your grade 3 Magnolia in order to use that, and that is one reason I'm not using grade 4. The only downside of this card is it only works during your grade 3 turn. So not only that you can't play a grade 4, but during your early game you still can't use this card to actually increase the chances of attacking. But once you get into grade 3 Magnolia, instead of 4 attacks you can do 5, and that is enough of a threat. And this card, as long as you use Magnolia skill to point to it, you get the 5k from itself, but you also get the 5k from Magnolia, so it hits 20k. Now what you need is just a little bit more power adjustment to make it even stronger, but just by enabling back row attacking when you have trouble finding another person right to actually do 6, I think it's quite important right here. So here we are. And then 3 of the Genosla, it pass attack, making it very very strong. In the past, it is not that of a good choice, even though we play this card, but we kind of don't want to play too much of this card because it's eats your counterblast with Magnolia, and when you only have one counterblast, you will struggle between Genosla and Magnolia, right? Even though Dynamaru is going to help you out a bit, but Alpine here is like basically allowing you to turn 1 counterblast into 2 counterblasts because you get the counter charge, right? And from there you can actually use Genosla's skill to give something very weak power to become a strong unit to actually hit key numbers, break through defenses, and win you the game. Okay, and then we have 0 so this is the new support as well, coming with Alpine. Now this card has 2 skill. When it comes from deck or hand to radar circle, if you do have a Seahorn Beast Vanguard, which you will be because I'm using the whole Seahorn Beast red line, so you can do it anytime. You can Soul Blast 1, look at top 5 of the deck, and search for a Magnolia card, review it, add to your hand, and shuffle your deck. You don't need to discard anything if you search. Of course, you don't gain anything if you can't search. But it helps you to find person right easier. And the second skill is what makes this card so important. That is, if you have a Magnolia grade 3 Vanguard, and when you do your person right, you actually can also apply the power to your back row. So that doesn't need to be like this card on the field before you person right. You can actually person right first, play this card, and your back row will still get the 10k. And this changes a lot of things, because with Magnolia we have like a very strong back row attack, but sometimes we only playing things like maybe like a Panthera plus 5 is only going up to 19 with its own skill. This card will only be hitting for 13, so it's like small pokes hurts, but it's not that hurt. But now, not only your front row can get the 10k plus, your back row is also getting a 10k plus, and this suddenly turns and picks into like a 33k attacker, this the trendy 3k attacker, and the whole thing of guarding concept will just change just by having this card on the field while you personal right, and this card itself helping you to search personal right. Of course, I'm not saying that you will 100% guarantee to get personal right, but by increasing the chances and with back row also getting the power plus, all your attacks will become a lot more scarier. So with this set 7 coming out, we have Alpine and we have Zero. They are both very important to the deck, and with them you actually don't need to rely on grade 4 anymore, even though you can. I do see people still playing grade 4 and just take out Inlet Pulse because they just prefer like stable 6 attacks with triple drive, and since they also run like full Magnolia to make sure they do have a Magnolia in soul or on the field, which also allows them to do like a little bit personal right before they actually get to grade 4 and also enjoy the zero effects. That is also something that's working. But I rather not make myself waiting so long. I just use this setup and go in and take the game. And then for the PG, you can turn one into the order PG if your meta is like having a lot of grade 4s or have a lot of guard restricts. To me, I just play with friends, so it doesn't really matter. But if you have one, feel free to change it. If not, 4 of these PG is just good enough. And then 3 of the wild intelligence. It helps you to take the cards you need. For example, your Alpine. But unfortunately, for Zero, if you use wild intelligence to actually pull this card out, because it's not from deck, it's not from hand, you can't so last one to search 5 for Magnolia. That's something you need to look for. But other than that, you can get your M picks, you can get your Alpine, you can get your Panthera to start rebuilding your board. You can also get your Dynamos to actually start doing more multiple attacks. And because I'm only using grade 3 Magnolia, meaning instead of calling 1, I can call 2, so that's even better, right? And triggers. Now I am using the generic ones because I still use a lot of Genosla and spreading big powers, just meaning I have more threats, and because I do a lot of plannings on doing more than 4 attacks per turn, and also like all of these are already big enough with the help of Zero, with the help of Alpine, so I'm just making every single punch a lot harder. This also is because like a lot of games that I played, I don't pull crit that much, it's just luck or something, but I see every single punch important. So instead of like giving a threat for crit to make sure they guard for it, I try to aim for something that they cannot guard and they take the hit. So I'm using this instead of the Stoicheia over trigger. Of course you can use that as well. Both will work in this deck. Just that if you have like multiple Genosla and you're already applying one, then that can just spread a lot more 100 million to something else while not using your Genosla skill that much. Of course you can still do that to make like 300-400 million attacks, but that's when it happens, so it's up to you. But if you again prefer the Stoicheia one because you want to heal, you want to front, you want to draw, you want extra crit, feel free to go for it. Both works. And then the sewing crit, because soul is important, even though we have Alpine to actually help us out. 3 more crits, 4 draws, 10k draws, because they are good defense. You want to draw more cards to make sure you can like basically have a full board to enjoy all the multiple attacks, and also finding your Magnolia pieces. so you can do personal ride, you can do a lot of big plays. So we are running 4 of the tanky draws, and then 4 heals. With heals, I don't have much preference right here, so you just use the normal one. But if your meta is like full of multiple attacking from the same unit, you can use the restand plus 15k shield, or if you're facing like decks that always like to increase the crit, like some lyrical cards that can actually gain crit by themselves, then you can go for the other one as well. So, but I will only change one of them into the heal trigger effect, heal trigger that fits the matter. If not, just use the number one. That will be enough for you to just survive. Yeah. So that's the deck list, and what we aim to do here again is to have this search a person right, and then just depending on what you have to pick up the board, do 5 to 6 multiple attacks every single turn. Try to take your person right so that you can share the big power, and then also making Ginosa a lot bigger, because instead of just 15k, now you can go to like 25k before trigger, and also with Magnolia effects of course, and plus 25k to a front row is already quite threatening, right? Assuming you're personal riding, even a trigger after you use Ginosa still to pass the 25k is still a 40k attacker. So you won't waste a lot of stuff, but one kind of last suggestions is you need to take care of your board, because if you don't take care the amount of cards you left on the board, and when you have like a lot of amp picks on the field and they got targeted and retire, then you will have like be in trouble. Or like if you have 4 units and you have 1 amp picks only, they will just take it first, so they don't need to worry about the protection. But Ampix is still the star of the deck, because it can still simply get to 23k by itself. Like even get a defensive trigger, it can still hit. And yeah, basically just trying to find your personal right pieces, trying to do personal rights. If not, like Alpine will help you fill the gap while you don't have personal right, and then also Dynamo will help you out. Kinosla will also help you out, so that you again can do 4 to 5 attacks at least without personal riding, while still having some kind of big number per attack. So it will still be something that heavy. Your opponent still need to try to take the hit and try to defend, or they need to drop a lot of resources so that you don't finish them off, while you can prepare for the next time to finish them off. That's basically the idea. Yeah. So that's it for this deck profile. Feel free to let me know any questions down below in the comments, and I will answer them as I can. Like this video if you like Magnolia. If you like to stay clean from grade 4 or inner pulse, it's not a bad thing to use them, but I just want to try something different, so here we are. Subscribe to my channel for more deck profile, unboxing, deck fights. Of course, fight with this deck is already recorded, so I still need to check them out. Make sure they aren't too bad to show you guys, then I will just put them up. Now I'm doing a 2-week schedule, so I should be more relaxed while being able to deliver content like constantly, while I still have a lot of stocks to actually prepare for. Then you see them when I upload them. Yeah. Thanks for watching guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.